Yo, what is up guys, welcome back to another video. We're here for round 2 here in Jeddah for my F122 My Team career mode. Let's get straight into the video. So yes, we are at the HQ preparing for the Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix even, and some eagle-eyed viewers may see we're running a different livery. I am just testing liveries out. For the first 3 races, I've made a new livery for Australia, and I will be maybe announcing something in my Australia video if I get it done in time. But anyway, yeah, I'm not going to spoil anything, but we've got a Pirelli Hot Lap on the 24th of March. As we're going to look at upgrades we have in the pipeline. We have 4 upgrades, and they're all set to come before the... well, 3 of them are set to come... I think they're all set to come before Australia, so that's good. But something that I forgot to actually do in the first episode, as we look at the standings. So Leclerc leads as he won the last race in Bahrain. We finished P9, but I'm going to look by my level 1 on driver perks, as I forgot to do them. And you only get 3 this year, as opposed to 4 from last year's game. And we're going to buy... no, we're not going to buy anything. I'm going to save up for a marketing upgrade to get that to spec 2, so we can get better sponsors and acclaim, I think. But we're going now to advance time to the Pirelli Hot Lap, which I am going to be doing. So we've either got a choice of average speed zone or the drift. Now I'm going to do the average speed zone as we get into the Jeddah circuit, Jeddah Corniche circuit, in the daytime on the Thursday. So we have got to get 100.75 miles an hour to get 1,000 team acclaim at $100,000. So this is my first attempt, which happened to be my best attempt, as these supercars, I do like to drive them, to be honest, but they are going to get I probably will get bored of them, so I'm not going to be doing the hot laps every episode. But I'll do them now and then. If it's like a new one that I haven't done, I'll try it out. But we come across the line and we do 98 miles an hour, which is only enough for bronze at the minute, and I didn't manage to improve. I only got 97.5 and then 97 on my 3rd attempt, so we get 250 team acclaim and $25,000, which is still better than nothing, but it's just not as much as I wanted. As we now head back into the HQ, and we're ready for the race weekend here in Jeddah. Weather report: there's no rain no rain expected for qualifying or the race. Performance: we are making gains, which is good, as we now head into FP1, and we're on the ERS management test. As we come around the final corner, we go a little bit wide, and we also bump the front wing on the wall on the exit, but we're still going to get the purple score, so that's good. As we cross the line, as we get purple. And now we are going to head into the race strategy practice program at the end of the 3rd lap, which is the one which you get for the purple score, but I like to do all 5 laps just to get some more accurate data, as we do get the purple score. As now we get a little bit of traffic from Carlos Sainz coming out the pits. That's going to compromise my line a little bit, but we get past him anyway, as we're still up on the delta for the practice program, as now we head into the last corner on the final lap of the program. And of course we're going to get the purple score, as I've said, and we're going to get full R&D points, and we've done all of the discounts that I can do on that practice program. So I'm currently P4 in the session, which is pretty good, and we're getting those laps in, which is also good. As now we move on to the qualifying pace program, the end of it. I'm getting a little bit loose out the final corner, but it's fine. We're up on the delta as always, and we get a green score. No, we get purple. Okay, and we go top of the timing. Top of the timings for FP1, and we're targeted to get 13th in qualifying, which is pretty good, as that was all the running I did in practice 1, as we finished top of the session, and I did all of the other ones in quick practice that I didn't manage to get done. R&D points, we get 742 to Jack Aitken's 150, so we're now on 1,342 R&D points, and we get all of the development boosts applied. Now for the next episode I probably will speed this bit up, because it does take a bit of time to get through all of these, but in the meantime, if you are enjoying this video, then make sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'm trying to hit 100 subs by the end of the year, and going by how the first episode did, yeah, I was shocked by that, but yeah, we're going to getting our acclaim now, and we're going to head straight into qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Right then, so here we are then, here for Q1, here from the Jeddah Corniche circuit setup. We're running quite low downforce, 917 wings, 9050, negative 250, negative 170, 010, 0.1, 0.41. On the suspension geometry, suspension is 474756, brakes are 90 and 50. And the tyre pressures are 23.3 on the front and 21.8 on the rears. And now we head into the end of the first lap in Q1, and you can see my wheels juttering a bit again. I didn't like that. It does happen again throughout the weekend. I am sorry. It's just with the heat, and I don't know if it's just because of my wheel, but this was my best lap in Q1, so I'm going to commentate it. So down into turn 1, you want to look for the 100 meter board. I know some people do brake a little bit later, but I just cannot, because I don't know. But now going into turn 3, just before the 50, down to 5th, and then you want to just try and not lose the rear end through this S section, as go down to 5th there just to get a little bit of extra rotation. We go a little bit wide, but it's fine. You've got track limit, we've got corner cutting rules on regular. As we end the first sector, and we were about, I don't know, a few tenths up on Stroll. As we come down into the twisty bits again, as Jack Aitken is ahead of us there. He's on an outlap, as I went before the other EAI went out, as we are about 6 tenths up, and we're about 9 tenths up on Stroll as Aitken gets out of the way, which is good, so it doesn't impact our lap at the moment. But we're now 1.3 seconds up on our previous lap time. We're P21 here, so we need a good lap to get out of qualifying, to get into Q2, as we now come around the final corner now. We're 1.6 seconds up, I think, as we come up to the line, and we go P7 at the time, as that should get us through into Q2, as we go a little bit deep into turn 1, as I try to go for another push lap, and we do get into Q2 in P12. We get knocked down too, but we got our first Q2 appearance in just our second race. Jack Aitken did get knocked out in P18, which is a bit of a shame, but now we head into Q2, as end of the first lap. We are on used tyres that we used on our on my first run, I think, in Q1. Or, yeah, as we cross the line and we set a 1 minute 32.2, we go P5. 1.2 seconds off Lewis Hamilton at the minute. As now, so we've got some other people coming out of the pit lane. And now I'm going to... This was my best lap in Q2, and I'm going to let you guys listen to the engine sound. So enjoy the lap, and I will catch you guys at the end of the lap. So yeah. So now as we come out the final corner, we are 1.2 seconds up on our best lap time, and we cross the line. We go P11. So that is still not enough, as we set 1 minute 31.0, 1 minute 31 dead. And it's still not enough to get into Q3 at the minute. We're in P11, so I decided to go again. And we're currently 2/10 up on our personal best. We go a little bit wide out of turn 4, I think. And then we go through turn 5 into turn 6. We clip the wall a little bit there. And we get on the curb, and we just clip the curb a little bit, and we spin, and we whack into the wall, and we lost our entire front wing. Oh, this can't get any better for us, any worse for us even, as our qualifying is pretty much over there, and we're not in Q3,
okay, we're currently in the drop
as we get knocked out in P16, dead last. So we definitely needed that lap to have a chance in getting into Q3, and yeah, we don't have as much work to do as what we had in Bahrain, but let's head into the race start.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Russell, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, and Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Norris, Kevin Magnussen, and Ocon, Joe, Davies, Sebastian Vettel, and Jack Aitken, Ricciardo, Albon, Stroll, and Nicholas Latifi. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. Ant, it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, now that we've got some good points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Right then, so here we are then, sat on the grid in P16. No grid penalties to ahead of us to lift us up the places. But that lap was pretty, the one that you just got to listen to the audio to, was pretty much my best lap. But we're going to do medium hard strategy again, like Bahrain, and I'm going to go 0.1 lap extra fuel, only because I always do a practice race before I record it for my team career mode. I will start mediums, and I had a couple of safety cars and I finished with loads of fuel. But now we go on to the formation lap for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and all we need to do is just get a good start. As we now build up the roads, we do get a good launch away,
Right,
which is good.
let's get the car up to temperature on this lap, please. We're learning the gears, so let's go through them all if you can.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody else is starting. Everybody around us starting mediums. I think we could have pretty much a similar chance in getting points than what we had in Bahrain. But it is going to be a lot tougher with the streets, with the walls, like literally right near you. As we're now coming up to our grid slot, and I actually go pretty slow that actually Vettel ghosts through us, or me. But I try to do a burnout, and I do it really late towards the grid slot. I nearly go into the back of Ocon, which means we get a failed parking position. As now we are waiting for for everybody else to line up, and everybody else has lined up. As now we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and it's lights out, and away we go. Do we get a good start? We do, compared to Guanyu Zhou and Esteban Ocon, but we get boxed in a little bit by Lando Norris. As we now go down into turn one, we're going to see if we can go down. We're going to see if we can go down the inside of Lando Norris, but it doesn't work. We're now three wide, as it's 3 wide ahead, and we're 3 wide with Ocon and Zhou Guanyu, I think. As we come down into turn 2 or turn 4, I can't remember, or maybe turn 3. As we're going to go over the inside of Esteban Ocon, as he's still there on the inside there. As I'm going to get the traction, not really with our cold-ish tyres. We make a little bit of contact there, and we need to go for a spin, and we need to make contact again with Esteban Ocon. As we end sector 1, and we've moved up to P14, which is pretty good.
Tyre condition still looking good.
As we check for damage there, as there's no damage, and we now go into the long left-hand hairpin at the end of Sector 1, as now we go into Sector 2, and we are getting a little bit pressurised by Ocon here, but we should have good straight line speed with our low downforce setup. We did have a little bit of understeer, but it is fine, as Ocon is not quite, he's 2 tenths behind us as we go down into the fast left-right chicane. Take it in 6th gear. Nearly missed, just about got the apex there. As now we're going to deploy ERS all the way down the straight, and I'm going to look for a move on Kevin Magnussen. No, not really, but we look a little bit around the outside as we brake a little bit later compared to Kevin Magnussen. As now that's going to open a run up down into turn 1, is it? No DRS obviously, not till lap 3. As we go down into turn number 1, we'll go to the outside line, and we're going to end up making a move on Lando Norris as he moves a little bit to the inside, and we're actually going to make contact with Lando Norris, and we get a little bit of front wing damage. So we are going to have to pit again on lap 1, which is a shame. Well, we're on lap 2, so but we do get damage again in the early stages of the race. As yeah, we're going to have to pit at the end of this lap, as we're going to confirm to Mark Priestley.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
So we can come in this lap.
Available on the MFD.
Yep, we know. I've just said box this lap. But I'm going to go hard tyres. I'm going to try to do what we did in Bahrain and go to the end of the Grand Prix. We managed to make it work in Bahrain. So why don't we try it again maybe. The tyre wear wasn't really that bad in Bahrain. I think the tyre wear may be a little bit worse off here than it will be in Bahrain. But I think we can still get the hard tyres to the end of the Grand Prix. Fuel may become an issue later on in the race. We have... actually may become an issue now as we've got 0.04 or... I think we've got 0.06 laps of fuel, positive fuel. So we're going to come into the pit lane now, and I'm going to show you the immersive pit stop now, as the OS gets enabled at the end of lap number 3. And I'm going to get it optimal. Yes, we do get an optimal turn in, which is good. I'm going to have to change the button for the turn in, because that's also, I've registered that as my look back button, as we do get a good one. As now we're going to look at the race start replay again, as we go to them 5 red lights, and it was either Carlos Sainz or Charles Leclerc who started on the front row, on pole position with Max Verstappen alongside. And you can see we do get boxed in by Lando Norris there. As everybody goes into turn 1, it's pretty much, yeah, it was 3 wide between Guan Yu Zhou, myself and Esteban Ocon, and it was also 3 wide between the Haas and the, I think it was, oh, the AlphaTauri and the other Alfa Romeo, I think. As now you can see there's the contact with Esteban Ocon. He didn't pit at the end of lap 1, so we must have just banged wheels, which is good, as now we're going to get a replay of lap 2 of the incident that we had with going up the inside of Kevin Magnussen and just make a little bit of contact, couldn't quite slow down the car just in time, and we go into the side of Lando Norris as we get on board from Kevin Magnussen. As, yeah, oh, actually Norris made a little bit of contact with Kevin Magnussen there. I'm surprised Magnussen didn't pit, as we now get on board from Esteban Ocon, as we now go on to lap number 6 here, and as Fernando Alonso here. We are watching, it's Carlos Sainz who leads the way from Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, the top 3, but there's yellow flags, and Fernando Alonso is pulled off to the track. He's got an engine failure, the Renault engine going up in smokes again. For the 2nd race running, it was Esteban Ocon in Bahrain, and it's now Fernando Alonso's turn here in Jeddah. As actually Jack Aitken, our teammate, is going to have a look on Kevin Magnussen. He's going to go around the outside. Has Kevin Magnussen got a little bit of front wing damage from the contact that he had with Lando Norris on lap 2? Is it starting to affect him here? As Jack Aitken's going to open up DRS. He's got DRS. He's going to go to the outside, is he? Yes, he's going to go to the outside for turn 1. Is he going to get the move done? No, he's not. He's going to go fake to the outside, go to the inside, and he's going to get the move done down the inside. He's going to turn to the outside for turn 2, so Kevin Magson's going to get the inside line. But can Jack Aitken get the traction? Yes, he can. And he's up into P14 of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. As they move on to lap 8, and Kevin Magnussen is going to pit. But is it just a scheduled stop? I don't think it is. I think it's from wing change, because mediums can go till about lap 12 or lap 13, as it said on the pit stop on the race strategy screen, as they're going on to hard tyres, and they are getting front wing changed for Kevin Magnussen down at Haas, as he's now going to pull to the rear of the field as we get past him as he pits. And yeah, the reason why there isn't any onboard footage is because I didn't record this bit, because it was just me at the back trying to find up time. But I'll go to lap 11 now, as we go back on board with ourselves. The gap to Kevin Magnussen is 13 seconds, as I think we have people in the pit lane. Yes, we do. We've got Daniel Ricciardo in the pits, and also Alex Albon as well. So we're going to move up another couple of positions, and also Lance Stroll, Aston Martin, and the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. As we go down to turn 1, we miss turn 1 apex a little bit, but we don't lose too much time, as now we go to lap number 13, and we got a little bit deep into turn 1, as we've got a few people in the pit, so we get a warning for corner cutting. So that's our sponsor. We're not getting the money from the sponsors because we corner cutted, but we did get a legal overtake on Ocon as well, so we had to let him through. As we're actually going to try to stick with Ocon here, try to do was what we did in Bahrain, and we're actually going to get are we going to get a good run out of the left right fast chicane? Yes, we are. We're going to deploy the ERS down the straight. I mean, there's no DRS this year. There was on the F1 2021, but there isn't on this game here because it's now moved to the other spot as we go down the inside. But Ocon's going to get a good run out of the long left-hand hairpin, and he's going to get back ahead of us on exit. As now we're just going to wait for the DRS. We're just going to play it on this straight now, as it's moved from back there to here, as it is here in real life, and we're just going to try to set up the move either into last corner or into turn 1 here on Esteban Ocon. We go a little bit deep, which is fine because we can get good traction. We're going to deploy the ERS. We're going to open up DRS now as Leclerc sets the fastest lap over 1 minute 32.7. So only 1.7 seconds off what we did in qualifying. As we're going to look to the inside, not quite. We're not that brave on the brakes. As now we go into turn 1, as open up DRS now, down the main straight into turn 1. We're nearly out of battery actually, so I need to try to save up some battery. But we're going to go to the inside of Esteban Ocon into turn 1. We break a little bit too early there, and we actually lock up a bit, and we make more contact with Esteban Ocon, just like what we did on lap 1, and Lando Norris has actually got through on Esteban Ocon. As I look at a replay of the pit stops from lap 12, as Mick Schumacher is in, and also Max Verstappen carries on, so it's Yuki Tsunoda in the pit lane, as well as Ocon and everybody else, all the second team drivers. But we're going to look at the AlphaTauri now, and that is a pretty good stop, to be fair. Now we're going to go to Zhou Guanyu, as loads of people are leaving their pit boxes and entering them, as Joe, that's a pretty slow stop, to be fair. Now let's see what Jack Aitken can do. Oh, that's a lovely stop from the boys. Great stop for Jack Aitken, and he's actually just behind Zhou Guanyu here. As now we go on to lap number 14, back to live action, as Norris is going to look round the outside, but we're going to get him back down the inside. But we are actually going to get DRS down the main straight, as we were behind him at the DRS detection point. So we're going to go open up DRS, and we're going to try to pull a gap on Lando Norris. The gap is 4/10, and it will be building, as I think Lando Norris could be our rival here, as we had a long fight with him in Bahrain, and we could also have a long fight here in Jeddah if we can keep him behind. As now we come through on the straight into sector 3, as Lando Norris is going to get past us. He's going to open up DRS right about now, and he's going to get those extra couple of mile an hour extra speed, and he's going to get past us into, as he goes into P11, we drop down to P12, and we just don't get the exit out of the fast left right hander. As we open up DRS now, there's about a 1.9 second gap from us to Zhou Guanyu, as we're just going to try to stay within Norris's DRS here. As we come around the final corner, we get a little bit of wheel spin, we don't get the traction that we need. We're going to open up DRS again, and are we going to make the move into turn number 1? Yes, we are. We're going to go to the inside. Are we over turn 1? Yes, we are. We lock up again. We do a similar move to what we did an Ocon, and this time we actually get some minor front wing damage from the contact with Lando Norris. As now we go on to lap 23 here. We've skipped on a little bit, as Zhou Guanyu has actually got past Lando Norris, and Tsunoda and Schumacher are fighting. As we go down into turn 1, and you can see the wheels glitching a bit there. Again, as Zhou Guanyu, I see the wheels glitching there again. We're just not getting the turn in, as we're trying to defend as much as we can without being too aggressive against Zhou Guanyu. As we come through the final few corners to end sector 1. Only here is a good exit. We're going to deploy the ERS, some of the ERS that we have, and Zhou Guanyu is actually right on our gearbox here. He's going to go for a move. No, he's not. We keep him behind, as I'm actually trying to save fuel here. That's why I'm going in a little bit of higher gears than before. As then we go move to the end of lap 24 here, and Zhou Guanyu is going to look for the move. He's got the DRS into the final corner, and are we going to look for the move into the final corner? No, we're not. We're going to brake early, just to make sure we get the turn in and the traction compared to Zhou Guanyu, which we kind of do. He does have more top speed than us, but we're going to deploy ERS and I'm going to open up DRS, and we're going to go to the outside, and we're going to get the move done before we even get to the braking zone of turn 1. and we are back up into P11. So, but we are only 7 seconds away from points, which I don't think will happen this race, unfortunately, as we now move on to the last lap, and Max Verstappen is leading the race going on to the final lap. As we come through into the final sector now for Max Verstappen, he's only a couple of corners away from winning the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, just like what he did in real life. And I think, yeah, he did, as he's going to come around the final corner now, and it's going to be Carlos Sainz who's going to finish P2 unless he makes a little mistake. As you see, Sergio Perez is actually right on his gearbox. He's going to have DRS up to line, but Max Verstappen wins here in Jeddah for round 2 of the season in F1 22, as Carlos Sainz finishes P2, Perez P3, Leclerc P4, and Russell and Hamilton were having a little bit of a fight out of the final corner, but they finish P5 and P6, as Valtteri Bottas is going to come round the final corner now to finish best of the rest, with Pierre Gasly and Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher rounding out the points. But when now we go back to the live action, it's actually Zhou Guanyu, as we're not done yet, as Zhou Guanyu is actually going to keep pressing on us, as we've got really high tyre wear now compared to Zhou Guanyu, as we pitted only on lap 2. He pitted on about lap 12, lap 13, as he's going to look for the move down the inside. We tried to squeeze him into the wall as much as we can, but Zhou's going to get the run into the final corner as he goes a little bit deeper and compromises our line. Are we going to get the move? Are we going to get back past him into the trying to go across the line? No, we're not. We're going to settle for P12. Then Zhou Guanyu is going to take P11 here in Jeddah. We don't quite get points here in Jeddah, but we do get the driver of the day, as you'll see now. We do get driver of the day, so that's the second driver of the day of the season, and 2 out of 2 for driver of the days here in Jeddah.
Delivered an outstanding performance today and under intense pressure to take a well-earned victory at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. Driver standings have changed. Max Verstappen's excellent result today sees him take over as the new leader of the Drivers' Championship. Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for Driver of the Day?
I have to give it to Davis. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula 1, so it was a great effort.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula 1. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula 1 action very soon.
So, round number 2 in the books, and we finished P12. So close to being P11, but Max Verstappen did pick up the win. As you saw, Carlos Sainz and Perez running off the podium. Missed out on the podium just about was Charles Leclerc, Russell, Hamilton, Bottas, Gasly, Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher, picking up the final point here today. Missing out on the top on the points, we got Zhou Guanyu, myself, just got pipped by on the line. In the final corner, we got Lando Norris behind us, followed by Vettel, Magnussen, Stroll, Aitken, Ricciardo, Latifi, Albon, Ocon, a lap down, and Fernando Alonso, the only retiree, not make it to the checker flag. Championship wise, we moved down to P11. We are on the same points as Yuki Tsunoda, 1 point in front of Mick, and 2 points behind Lando Norris and Pierre Gasly. Championship standings, we are constructors standings, we're a P8, 2 points behind McLaren, which is good. And yeah, Acclaim, we moved to nearly level 3, and as a team we are now level 7, which is good. Sponsor wise, we did not get the cash payout for PSD because you saw we cut the corner when Ocon was coming out the pit lane, and we do get some damage deductions as well for our crash in qualifying and braking from wings. So we only made about 5 million, about 50k in revenue for that weekend. But we've got a personal department event before Australia. But before we do that, we're going to do activities and maybe spend some R&D points. We're going to do sponsor advertisement for the drivers, second driver performance review, driver promotion filming, and sponsor event, conference, and aero team building. As now we are going to do the personnel department event, as we haven't actually had one.
To deal with this. We have a couple of options here. Take your time. What you decide to do will have consequences.
But yeah, we haven't had one. We haven't had a department event as of yet in this series. So Aitken has been really hitting their stride in the simulator recently. Just pace or awareness. I'm going to pick his awareness because I want him to be more aware of making mistakes, of reducing the amount of mistakes. And actually we've got a lot of things going on before Australia. So we're now going to do an upgrade. I think we're going to do the spark plugs, which will come... No, we're not looking at upgrades. I always do it. Anyway, we're going to buy... no, we're not. Flipping heck. What am I doing? Right. We're going to buy the ignition system, which will come before Imola. Durability, we don't have much to spend, so we're going to buy... I'm probably going to buy the tyre wear upgrade, as it's the only one we can afford. But we're going to have to wait until one of the upgrades... we'll have to wait for one of the chassis upgrades to come, which should come in the next couple of days actually, in-game. As now we are going to advance time to the 2nd, I think, or are we just going to go straight to the 7th of April where the Australian Grand Prix is? Yeah, we're just going to go straight to there, but all those 3 upgrades come in, which is good. Just wait on the chassis side, which does come in, so we get a full 4 upgrade package into Australia, so we should be further up the thing now as we get our aero upgrade in. And we get the 2 chassis ones in, which is good, and I'm going to buy the tyre wear one, which will come before Miami, which is good. And that is going to be it for upgrades, as we only have 600 R&D points left, which means we can't spend anything. So now I'm going to leave it there, guys. So if you have enjoyed this video, then make sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let's try to get this video to 5 likes and ready for the next episode. So if you have enjoyed, then yeah. But that has been me, Omi141, as always. Peace out and goodbye, and have a good rest of your day and enjoy F1. Boom.